And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 5 2026 Korean Server Qualifier. We are here with the second qualifying match of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with Shin versus Solar, went all the way to the ace match, all the way to game 5, and did go in favor of Solar just barely in that final ace match. And now we have a fresh series, a fresh best of 5 qualifying match. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Protoss Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Blue Terran player, the Blue Terran player himself. It is Percival. Let's go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we delve into our final series of the broadcast. Let's go. Again, Shin, he just barely did get knocked out of the qualifier, but we still have the European qualifier in a couple of days' time. There is still another chance to redeem ourselves and to qualify for the main event, even if you have to compete in not a home server, if you will. In the opposing server with a ping disadvantage. So there's still a chance, of course, still a chance. Likewise, also voting. True, voting is also going to be a factor where the patrons will be given players to decide between, and they can also vote for their favorite player to make it into the RSL. So there are other ways, other chances, but otherwise, congratulations to Solo for making it through. Meanwhile, we're here with a TVP, and this is going to be a spicy one. Now, to catch people up who maybe haven't been watching StarCraft as of late, if you weren't here last night, what happened last night? GSL qualifiers. We were live casting the GSL qualifiers. I say live casting as close as you can get. We were waiting for matches to finish, and then bam, as soon as they finished up, we did cover the replays. That was last night during the GSL qualifier stream that was over on Soup. And if you're watching the stream, you would know Percival, he qualified for the GSL. He qualified, but how did he qualify? He 2-0'd Beyond, and he took down Solar as well. He took down Beyond and Solar to qualify. Impressive results out of Percival. Again, he has been improving, getting better and better results over the past year of play, to the point where now he's beating players like Beyond and Solar on a much more regular basis. On top of that, I would argue that Percival's strongest matchup is not TVZ, is not TVT, it's TVP. And we have seen Percival take the Classic before in these online open tournaments. Can he do it again though? Classic, the reality is he's the top 2 Protoss in the world, arguably top 1. Alongside Hero, you don't get better than Classic and Hero when it comes to Protoss in this match, or just Protoss in general in StarCraft. So he's a bit of a titan to bring down. Classic is the favorite player to make it to RSL. Can Percival cause the upset? As he's going for a proxy starport Hellion drop. Let's go. Early on, we're going for a Rax Expand, Economic Opener into Reactored Hellion into the Hellion drop into the main base. Technically, this could be Reactored Hellion into Proxy Liberator, so we have Hellions hit the natural and Liberator hit the main, but this should be Proxy Medevac. Should be Medevac into drop into the main base. Here we go. Stalkers, they poke in. Yeah, they poke in. They do get eyes on the initial bunker. Applying pressure. Medevac is on the way. And can the Hellions break past? Can they break past these Stalkers? Can they get across the map? Clem's PvT is pretty top notch too. Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good. That doesn't change anything about what I said. Here in Classic, there's still top 2 Protoss players in the world. Clem, you could make a strong argument for his PvT to be like top 3. You can make an argument for it. For sure. As Percival does drop into the main. Classic in position, takes down the Medevac, and now it's a one-way trip. Yeah, one-way trip here. Boys are being pulled. A couple of pros who go down. 5 pro kills so far, not bad. Yeah, 5, 6. Can we get 7? Not quite. Only 6. Only 6 worker kills. I mean, I say only 6. That was 4 Hellions and a Medevac, so almost a 1-to-1 trade. Classic does hold, Classic does defend, and now it's time to gain map control and to potentially even counterattack. Ooh, I just realized here, this was a greedier build. 2K Blink into the 3rd. Okay, a couple of things here. On the one hand, worker damage was dealt, that is true, but this is a faster 3rd base. So Classic, he will have that boosted economy with that faster Nexus. It's going to be up to Percival to do more damage. Pressure is on Percival. Classic, he does gain map control. Behind this, you see Percival sieging up. Tank on the high ground, 2 bunkers on low ground. So far, he's secure, and the starport makes it back home. He makes it back. From here, we're building up on 2 bases. Now, if you know anything about Percival's TVP, you'll know that Percival, he does favor and he does thrive in more aggressive situations here. 2 base all-ins, 2 base all-ins, 3 base all-ins. Hyper aggression is where Percival does thrive in TVP, and he has brought down players like Max Pax and Hero before as well. Not saying he's favored, but he's pulled off these upsets in the past. On a map like Winter Madness, though, we have to favor Classic, right? This map is known for macro games, is known for having a longer rush distance and having more defendable bases. So Classic should have an easier time building up on 3, 4, 5 bases. Behind this, we have a massive gateway explosion, Bays on the way for Colossus, +1, charge. Classic so far looking solid. Getting into the mid game. Likewise, Classic pokes in, gets a Marine. Getting wherever he can. Meanwhile, Colossus production has begun. True. Building up the Colossi. From the side of Percival, we're waiting to see if he throws down extra Raxes. If we see 2 more Raxes, then that would be more indicative of a 2 base all-in. But at this point, it feels like we should be pushing and expanding. We're expecting a 3rd CC. As Percival does attempt to break out. Does catch out a Stalker. Does catch a Stalker. Again, we're expecting a 3rd CC. Alright, expecting. As Percival does commit across the map. And there it is, 3rd CC behind this. Percival, he's expanding. As he moves out, would you say Classic engaging ahead of time? Getting into the first Marauder, does pick up the Widowmine, not bad. Mine goes down. Doesn't get another swipe off at the same time, drop into the natural. Classic does pull away, he's got his defensive Colossus, oh my god. Colossus does defend, diving on top of the tanks, nice force field, he gets one. One tank goes down, the other barely saves, a pick up there by Percival. But he gets shut down. Percival gets to back off, the push has failed, and Classic holds. Classic does hold on, blinks onto the medevac. Medevac goes down, bleeding out 2 workers, and Classic, he does defend well, does take a lead. Preserving his Colossus, preserving his economy, claiming the 4th base. And Percival has a ways to recover. He's got a ways to go. Remember, he was not all in, but he was still quite dedicated when it came to that push. And that means that this defense is going to be that much weaker. Now there's only 1 tank. It's just the one. Percival, he's now stuck at home. He's stuck at home, he's taking up. We have Viking production underway, we have Ghost Academy as well. The goal here is just turtle up and build up into the mid game. But Classic is already here. He has the advantage, he has momentum. And can he break the 3rd position? Colossus, they move in. And swipes on the Marauders. Prism drop into the natural. Pulling Percival apart. Gets into the mineral line. And so far, minimal losses. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 worker kills. Getting into 6. 6 SCVs. A bit of a trade. Nothing major. What's important, though, is that, again, Percival's being contained. While that happens, bam, 5th base. 5th base with the high-yield gas geyser as well. Classic taking map control, taking more expansions, and looking to get further ahead. So we get further ahead. Behind this, going for the Temple Archives. This should be for Archons, potentially Storm. We'll see. That's Classic. He takes both center expansions. Ay, ay, ay. ¿Por qué no los dos, Pat? ¿Por qué no? Oof. Yes, Percival moves out. He's also move in. Thankfully, Percival's in position. Deflections all around by. Main army is being active. There are 2 ghosts of the main army. Oh, Gotta be reinforcing, okay. Comes in with everything. Just like last time, the goal here for Classic is to engage ahead of time, to slow this down, to force a stim, to force out some EMPs. And ideally to pick away the Viking count. How many Vikings so far? 10. 10 Vikings. Up against 4 Colossus. Gotta be careful. 3 cooldowns. 3 damage from the Vikings, not bad. Gets a free volley off. Classic now up to 5 Colossus. Jeez, that's gonna be a lot of lasers. It's a lot of lasers. Breaking in. Let's see, just getting some of those ghosts. Colossus they move forward. And we're running out of cells, so he's got to be careful. Bearing in mind those charges are crucial here to buffer for the army. And we are running out. Why? Because they signed 2 Colossus, there's still 3 left. 3 remaining. And Percival takes the fight. Yeah, it does take the fight. Pulls back the army, takes down the Prism as well. No more reinforcements. No more micro. Now Percival does keep pushing. Lands EMP. EMP lands. Vikings, they still pop up. Once again, blanket EMPing the main army. And Percival, does he have enough? Can he keep going? We need more zealots. Yeah, town zealots warping in. And Classic holds. And Classic does barely hold on. Just need those zealots. Does reinforce. Chasing down the marauders. Chasing down the ghosts. And these are heavy losses here for Percival. Ay, bleeding out far too much. These are far too much. The Marines and marauders. Force back home. And Classic gains momentum. Again, it all came down to that massive push, that massive engage. And Percival, he failed to break the main army. And now he's exposed. He's stuck here on the low grounds. Classic's almost remaxed. Cassie, he's almost there. Classic does remax. Moving in. Blinks forward. A crazy blink. Oh my god. Gets punished for the blink. But it's fine. It doesn't matter. Classic does reinforce. Pushing forward once again. Blinking on the Medivacs. Does catch the Medivacs. Let's take down the Ghost as well. And with that, there's just nothing left. GG gets called. And Classic is snowballs out of control. Takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, Percival, he did have a decent start to the game. He was able to gain some momentum and fight for map control. What's most important, though, is that Classic, he was able to get away with mass expanding. Remember, we pointed out at the time, but Classic took the center 5th base and the center 6th expansion as well on the left-hand side, the high-yield gas bases. So hyper greed there by Classic after, of course, gaining map control, taking those high-yield expansions. And we saw that Percival, he was not able to punish. He was able to push across the map and threaten the army for sure, but outside of that, wasn't able to achieve too much more. Wasn't able to break a base or get into the economy. Barely not. Casito, baby, casito. With that, Classic takes the lead. Does take the lead in the series, and now we're going to be loading the game number 2. Now, I should also emphasize as well, something we mentioned at the start of the game was that Winter Madness is a more macro map, right? It's known for longer, later games and more standard play as well. So we had a pretty again, a pretty tame game 1 here when it came to building up on 3 bases, getting a 4th base, and embracing the mid game. Now we're loading into some of these other maps, and we could see some more variants here from both sides, both Percival and Classic. Let's go. Or at least we should be seeing more variants. And spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 1-0. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Terran player, the blue Terran player himself, the South Korean Terran. It is Percival. Let's go. Let us go. Here in Classic, lost to Björn and Clem won some tournament a couple of days ago. I mean, if you want to be that fickle, you can be. Bear that in mind, that when it comes to like gauging the skill of a player, you typically do look at the entirety of what they accomplish and the entirety of their form. I mean, the reality is that, I mean, what, Percival, he beat Clem not too long ago. Does that mean Percival's better than Clem? Like, no. But he did beat him. True. Does happen. And Percival's a good player, don't get me wrong, but it comes down to consistency. That's maybe that's a better way of phrasing it. Is it's all about the consistency of the player. And Percival, again, he can take it to Classic on a good day. On a good day and a strong day, Percival can bring it to him, and I want to believe he can do it here and now as well. But he's going to bring his best to the table. So here we go. From here, we are going to be expanding. Again, ranks expand out of Percival, forced to be off center, so a cheeky move here by Classic, forcing some inefficiencies out of our Terran player. Oh, hello. So we're going for a more economic start, but we're following this up with an earlier tech lab. So the early tech lab does scream Marauder into Concussive Shell. The goal here is to punish the punish from Classic. So basically, because Classic knows it's a faster CC, there's a higher chance that Classic moves out with the Adept to try to punish the CC and delay the command center. If that happens, then the Marauder should be here to punish the Adept itself. So the punish for the punish. Adept is coming. Let's go. So we'll see Percival can catch out the initial gateway units. From here, he can then follow this up with either a 3cc 3 racks or 3 racks follow-up. Those are the most common. Based on the placement, looks like a fast third command center. Yep, 3cc 3 racks hyper greed out of Percival. This build was popularized by Björn. Wouldn't say came up with this, but Björn is very fond of this build in TVP. So faster CC hyper greed into a very strong mid game. Bearing in mind the follow-up here is going to be a second and third racks into a stim timing. We have our Marauders in position. Concussive Shell is done. And again, the goal is to catch the first Adept. It does get scouted. It does get scouted. Classic pulls away. Will save the Adept. Avoids the main army. And does Classic get into the main? He shouldn't. Yeah. The scout is going to be denied. Back at home, we have a safety battery. Stalker as well. Does finally get caught out there. Jet does get caught. And from here, we do have the follow-up there. Oh my god, extra gateways. No third. Yeah, lack of third base for the time being. Classic throws down 3 more gates. 4 gate blink out of Classic. Hyper aggression out of our Protoss player. Did he scout across the map? He did not, but this will work wonders here. Why is that greed? Remember, this was a hyper greedy build here by Percival, going for a fast third CC. Delayed factory, delayed tank production, delayed bio as well because of how quickly we went for the third base. That means 4 gate blink has potential to pop off. So Classic, he can punish. He's building up his army. And we'll see if Percival can hold his own. It's going to be difficult. Not impossible, but it's going to be a tough hold. Here we go. Double bunker. Double bunker being thrown down. What is Percival scouting? What's important here, Percival, he didn't see the gateway count, but what he did see is lack of third base. He saw the lack of third. So something is wrong, something is amiss. Oh, we do cancel one of the bunkers though. Uh-oh. Yeah, Percival does cancel. So he just has the one bunker. Singular bunker on the low ground. And here come the mass stalkers. Here comes the 4 gate blink. Here comes the 4 gate blink stalkers. Classic about to warp in, and if Percival doesn't react in time, he might just be broken here and now. Here he comes. He's got the sentry as well, true. He's got the sentry. There's the warp in. Stim is done. Diving on the CC. No shot. Does he kill? Oh no, he does. No shot. The boys are being pulled. Can he repair in time? It's gonna be close. Oh my god, barely does. Barely does repair. Saves the CC. Classic rotates. Again, that's just one bunker. Nice force field. Blocks off the ramp. And the bunker goes down. Yeah, the bunker does fall. Extra sentries on the way as well. Just force feed on the ramp. Remember, because of the build of choice, no sentries. Sorry, no dropships. No medevacs. Yeah, no medevacs available. We have more force fields. Plugs up the wall. And every SCV goes down. Yeah, Percival is being broken. Critical damage. 19, 21 SCV kills. Classic is snowballs out of control. Out positioning Percival. Punishing the greed. He punishes. More sentries. More force fields. They just keep coming. And even if Percival barely holds on here, and he does barely hold, that's still critical damage. 25 workers. Yes, Percival, he has a third CC, but this is just too much damage. Does fall far behind. Does fall behind. Behind this, Classic does take the expansion. It was a delayed Nexus, but still on the way. Still just not finishing. Classic. Going for the sentry drop. Okay. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol. One sentry goes down. Classic does pull away. And again, this is almost a build order win from Classic. I say almost because, as a reminder, Classic didn't scout, by the way. He wasn't fully aware of the greed of Percival, but it was Percival going for a third CC up against 4 Gateway. So Classic did have a big advantage coming into this to punish his opponents, and did punish. Did punish Percival. At this point, Percival's all in. Does have a comparable army size for the time being, but as time goes on, Colossus, right? Colossus are amassing. There's already 1 Colossi, soon to be 2. Percival doing what he can. Sim. Does him in. Hey, does supply block. Classic. Let's go. Does supply block. Back at home and going for his own academy. Academy's on the way. Building him to Ghost production. Viking production has begun as well. Third CC's landed. That was a heavy supply block, by the way. That's 5 pylons being thrown down. Heavy supply block, but Classic is now pushing, and the goal here is to break that third expansion. What is it to defend? We have 2 medevacs, a couple of Vikings, a couple of Marines. There's just not much of an army here. And not much here, not much of position. He blinks in, dives on the army, charges as well. Colossus is a little bit far behind, but they do arrive, and with that, Percival is being broken at the same time going for his own Dune drop. Get double jump to the main. Does force a recall. Picks up a Colossus. Nicely done. Yeah, gets a Colossus. But the third is denied. Yeah, the third is still denied. Classic, he defends. It was a messy defense losing a Colossus, but that's still perfectly fine. As Percival is contained. He's contained on 2 bases. Again, barely an economy. He's been treading water for quite some time. Treading water. There is a world where maybe Percival can get across the map again and find some more damage. Remember, recall's on cooldown. But Classic is pushing. He's going for the main push. He's built up to 2 Colossus. Nice EMP. But where's the follow-up? Again, the numbers just aren't there. Once again, EMP's landing. Mine shot gets baited. Better connection towards the end. But there's still just a sea of Protoss here. The Prism is going to be denied though. Okay. Prism gets shut down. No more reinforcements. Classic, he pulls away. And Percival, he's holding. We're holding on back. It's still a very messy defense. And behind this, we have Classic getting to 2-2 upgrades. Still just 1-1 for Percival. Second starport's on the way into mass Viking production. Percival still has a lot of recovering to do. Percival's trying to keep up. Likewise, Classic just spreading out when it comes to his splash damage, going for his own Temple Archives. Into Archons, into potentially Storm. Leaning more towards Archons at least. Damage getting 5, getting 687, 7 SCVs, not bad. Not a bad run by. You could argue this was a little bit inefficient, that is maybe true here, but at the same time, Classic, he can afford to throw away some units, and this is hurting Percival that much more. Classic has more bases, more expansions, more of an economy. He can afford it. As he gets in. As he does get in. And busting into the main base. Again, Percival's out of position. He's racing back home. He's racing back home to defend. More CV kills. More critical damage. I mean, again, it's been rough here from the beginning for Percival. Trying to recover from the early game. 10 more CVs going down. Classic is moving in. He's pushing forward. The prison was sniped. Classic has to be careful. Has to be careful, taking more bases, double expanding. And Classic is maxed. He's maxed out. Now it's time to push. God, we have 4 Colossus. We have so many lasers, Bappy. Aye, aye, aye. Now, there's a world. There's a chance where if we can maybe land all the EMPs, if maybe we can engage, if Classic does mess up his micro. For the most part, though, he can just push forward. Oh. Prism does barely get away. Does pull back. Nice time of the Colossus. Gets one. Gets one Colossus. Oh my god. Lasers, they pop up. Here comes a massive warp in. And Classic is overwhelming. Again, it's been Percival just playing from behind for the past, what, 5+ minutes. Has been treading water. He's been holding on. He has been holding on. Now, this is the world. If Percival can maintain a 4th base, he can max out. The 4th base is now on the way. If he can saturate his 4th base, he can bounce back in this game. But Percival, he needs time. He needs Classic to back off. But Classic shouldn't back off. He shouldn't be able to. Sorgers, they blink forward. A bold blink out of Classic, but it's fine. He's been far enough ahead anyway. Just chasing Percival down. Oof. Punching the SCVs as well. 13 boys being pulled into their deaths. And with that Classic, he will extend his lead. Again, this all came down to the early game. As we mentioned previously, yeah, GG. GG. Classic takes a 2-0 lead in the series. Is 1 game away from claiming the best of 5. GG. GG, well played. Again, winding it back here, it all came down to the early game. It came down to the initial builds. What happened? Percival went for a 3rd CC. He went for a 3CC, 3 racks. He went for a very greedy build from the start of the game. And Classic went for 4 gate blink. With that, Classic was able to punish, was able to cripple, and was able to get a massive lead early on and maintain that lead. The game continued, that is true, but at no point was Classic in any real danger. Like, Classic was perfectly safe at home. He was freely expanding, getting a 4th, 5th, 6th base as well. I'm sure Percival, he was quote-unquote surviving and he was holding on to his 3 bases, but again, he could never really be active on the map. He could never really thrive, could never really threaten the main army of Classic without Classic making mistakes. GG. GG, well played. With that, Classic does take a 2-0 lead, and we'll see if he can close it out here. Now we'll see if Percival can bounce back and recover in game 3. Let's go. Let us go. Alright, getting ready. think Percival's chance is not that bad. I mean, as we explained, if maybe you missed out on the start of the game, like it was just a really shaky opener out of Percival when it came to the builds of choice. As we mentioned at the time, it was like almost a build or win for Classic. Technically, there are ways to defend. If you remember, there were some key moments for Percival, which also made for a difficult defense, which is when he canceled. Remember, he canceled that second bunker, so he only had one bunker on the low ground. It got two-shot immediately. There were no boys being pulled, so it was very rough. Likewise, he was out of position. Remember the force fields. Remember when Classic went in with the 4K blink, he just force fielded that ramp perpetually, and Percival couldn't defend his natural. Could not defend. He was out of position, and it all fell apart. Did all fall apart, but here we go. We're loading into game number 3. We're loading into game 3 here. We're on match point and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Team Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Blue Terran player. The Blue Terran player himself. It is Percival. Let's go. Let us go. That upgrade advantage though. I mean, there were a couple of things. Remember, there were the upgrades, the economy, the army. It was just, again, just a shaky start when it came to the initial openers. It was a big risk that Percival took when it came to going for a third TC. We're going 3 CC3 racks. Big risk, big gamble. Didn't pay off. Now we're settling into the Old Republic. Why am I getting timed out? Oh, don't be a clown in the chat, Pat. True, true. Watch yourself. As for now, we are going to be opening up. Once again, we do have an economic opener out of Percival, going for a single gas. Single gas racks expand out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, Classic going for his own standard opener as well. Gate expand. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. There's no proxy, no shenanigans. We can see Classic is going to be delaying the CC, at least trying to. Does force some inefficiencies out of Percival, as it did force out a second SCV. Likewise, Percival is being as greedy as he can, going for a Rax expand and skipping the SCV scout and also skipping the Reaper scout. No Reaper. No Reaper, no SCV, no vision across the map. Classic could be going for, say, something crazy like a Robo opener or a Stargate opener, and Percival would be unaware. This is a calculated risk. I should also mention that what I mentioned when it comes to the build of choice for Classic, it's quite rare. It's quite rare to go for, say, a Stargate or a Robo. Depending on the player, of course. I would say that someone like Hero, he's very fond of mixing in Stargate play. Very fond of it. We have Creator, for example, who's very fond of mixing in Robo play as well. It's a little bit more stylistic depending on the player. Classic does open Twilight Council. Standard. So Twilight Council opener, we'll see how many gateways he throws down. Last game was 4 gate blink. This time we'll see if he goes into 2, 3, or 4 gateways. We'll see how greedy, we'll see how economic he plans on being. Playing against us must be the most unpleasant experience in SC2. I mean, in that last game, it was just a brutal start there for Percival just because of the builds of choice, but it can be really difficult if you do lose momentum and if you take a deficit early on in TVP. It goes both ways. We see that when it comes to early economic damage, whether it's the Terran player taking it or the Protoss, the game can last like another 5, 6, 7 minutes and you're just dying like for that period of time. You're just and that is very unpleasant, where you're in a game, but you're at a deficit. Your opponent can't necessarily kill you, but you're not really living anyway. It's a rough position to be in, for sure. You're kind of like stuck in a game where you're hoping that your opponent makes mistakes. Which does happen from time to time, right? Like, there are ways to recover and there are ways to bounce back. But it is difficult to achieve. For now, though, we are opening up with our initial mine drop. This will be the first bit of scouting that Percival will achieve across the map. Remember, there was no SV scout, no Reaper scouts. Coming in with a mine drop. Now, what I find most interesting is we're going for the all-in. Okay, we're going to be rallying across tank and Viking support as well. Hyper aggression out of Percival. Woodwind drop comes in. And so far, minimal losses. Gets one probe. Gets two. Two probes go down. One Woodwind is going to be sniped. But it's all about the follow-up. Again, the Woodwind is merely a distraction. Here comes the main push. The Vikings, the tanks, the Marines are rallying across the map. We have a second Viking on the way. Bearing in mind these Vikings can land, and landed Vikings do decent damage against Stalkers. That's what they're here for, to just get the maximum amount of DPS out of all the production we have. No medevacs, and the Vikings, tanks, and Marines. So very dedicated here from Percival. If this fails to do damage, if Percival loses this army, that can be game then and there. It's just very dedicated. Acid does engage. Does spot the army. He knows. I mean, the observer spotted the army, I should emphasize. Tank Luna siege up. Does go for the tank. Oh my god. I'll pick up. Nice control. It does bait some of those shots. Stalker's being zoned away, but there's a battery behind this. Tank does siege, and the tank is going to be targeted down as well. Gets one shot off, one volley. And Percival, he will lose everything here. Yeah, Percival is down to, what, 7 Marines. Oh, nice target firing, though. The battery's out of energy. Yeah, the battery's out. Oh, no! Oh, my God. That was so close. Gets into the main, unloads, going for the mineral line. But it's going to be a one-way trip. It's going to be one way. Picks off one more Stalker. Second Stalker goes down. Okay. A little bit of extra damage. There's a bit of a trade here. 3 probe kills. Yeah, messy defense here from Classic. Was messy. Percival pulls away, and where exactly are we? We did mention how this was very dedicated from Percival. What it was very, very dedicated. Was able to trade with his opponents. Tanks do siege. Can he catch out the Stalkers? He can. Gets one. Picks off one Stalker. Nice catch out of Percival. Behind this, going for a third CC. Building up his economy. And taking up into Stim. So third CC is on the way. Stim +1, combat shields. Building up into the mid game. Behind this, Classic, he has no pushing power. He's now getting his 4-gate setup. But he can mainly just harass. And now we can settle into our game. We can settle into the mid game here. Percival for... I mean, again, last game was just brutal when it came to the setup into the mid game. But Percival, he can freely expand. You can freely set up. Zones away the prism. So far, a solid start for Percival. He's building up on 3 bases. Likewise from here, Classic will soon have his tech of choice, whether it's Storm or Colossus. For now, just committing to a gateway heavy composition. Percival, he's being active. Does leave all his tanks back at home. Just being active with the double drop. Acid does engage. Gets a medevac. Ooh, gets one. And massive pickoff. Takes out a medevac. He wants a marauder as well. He blinks in. And Percival gets away. Yeah, Percival does pull out. Does pull away. Preserves his army, more importantly. And we'll see how we do build up from here. Classic claiming his 4th base. Map control is still a little bit uneasy here for Classic. I will say that. Percival is still being active. Show up on the left. The drops they spot each other.
Upgrade complete.
Percival does react in time. And the main army right through the center, also spotted by the observer. True. Classic is ready. He's ready in the center. Catching out 1, 2 Widow Mines, not bad. Denying any kind of splash damage. And Percival, he begins a 4th CC. Okay, we're getting into the mid game. We're building up. We're macroing. For the first time this series, we have, a back and forth mid game, and we're settling into a longer game state, into 4 bases. And again, Percival so far, he does have a pretty solid start. Has lost minimal units, traded well. And we'll see if he can punish some of these bases. Sims in. Dusts it forward, dragging the army within Widow Mines. Oh, nice shot. Nice shot goes off. One more mine behind this. Back at home, Percival does defend. Cleans up the Zealots. Trading well against the Stalkers. Oh my god. Yeah, decent trades. From here, Percival pulls away. Drop into the natural. 7 probes going down. And Percival cripples the economy. Takes a better trade. Now he can reinforce with his main army. And Classic has to get the hell out of here. Still bleeding out even more workers. 9 probes going down. And Percival takes a lead. Again, for the first time this series, like he's ahead. He's up in workers, up in economy, up in bases, up in army as well. And Classic is in trouble. Back at home now, switching into double Colossus production. From here, he might switch into disruptors as well. Eyes are on Classic. He needs more time. He needs those Colossus. Almost dealt with. Nice catch. Another Colossus. He gets one. Yeah, massive pickup. Gets one. Classic go with this man's down. Second Colossus does survive. Does hold. Get some decent force fields. Catching on some bio. Catching on some of the Marines. And Classic to take a slightly better fight here. Catching on Marines, Marauders, building up towards the Colossus. Colossi are coming. But we still do favor Percival here. He's perfecting his army. Now incorporating more Ghosts, now Vikings as well. At this point we could do with a second starport. Especially with the 4th base getting saturated. So we're still building up. 5th CC's on the way. Drop on the right hand side. Dust spot some of the bases. Once again, Percival's gonna be careful. Lands an EMP. Lands 2. Grazing on with the EMPs. He will lose some of the ghosts though. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3 ghosts going down. Some heavy losses here for Percival. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, some heavy losses at the same time. Marines that didn't move in, but Classic has a warp in. Defense back at home. Oh, and Percival bleeding out too much. Yeah, he's getting pulled apart here. Yeah, losing Marines, losing drops. Remember, this all began with him losing 3 ghosts as well. Some heavy losses for Percival. And Classic takes the lead. And Classic is recovering. Just better fights for the Protoss. Percival, he has to lick his wounds. Behind this, going for the fusion core. That should be for Liberator range. So again, Ghost Viking into Liberators. That is the go-to. But again, Classic is built up. He's built back up. He's on 80 workers. He's saturating his bases. High yield gas as well. Again, it was able to catch Percival out when it came to those drops. Even here, sniping a medevac. And Percival is in trouble. Now, the dynamic will shift once we get into Liberators. We do have advanced ballistics on the way, and we are making 2 Liberators at a time. But Percival, he isn't there yet. Not quite. Percival, he still needs more time. He needs all that freedom back. He needs the freedom. And catching out a couple of Stalkers. 1, 2 Stalkers going down. Nice big out of Percival. Liberators are soon to arrive. Ooh, catching at the Prism. Oh my god. And Prism goes down. Ooh, but the charge lets they punish. They punish the dive. Nice mine shots. And Widow Mines do connect. Vikings, they collapse in. They're getting 1, 2. There's 2 Colossus left. And Percival holds. Yeah, Percival does hold on. Classic overextends. And Liberation has arrived. He's got his Liberators. They're going to build up over time, making 3 Liberators at a time here. Building up more libs. Classic is still mass expanding. I mean, the base kind of is nice and all, but we need to saturate. He needs saturation. Just now saturating on the left. Percival does claim his own 5th. 5th base is up. And this will come down to the next big fight. Percival does find one expansion. Classic is moving in. There's a lot of ghosts that are harassing across the map. Toss in some EPs. But the army isn't here. Yeah, there's just not enough here, not enough in position. Does snipe one of the Colossus. But where's the rest of the Bio army? Yeah, again, it is not here. Classic rotates, takes down the planetary. Massive pickup. Fighting within liberated range though. Oh my god. Taking a lot of damage. But he overwhelms. Yeah, Classic does overwhelm this army. 27 SCV kills. They'll say pop off in the mineral line. And Percival's being pulled apart at the same time, going for his own counterattack. We're trading bases. We're trading bases. As more boys are being pulled. Again, still critical damage. More warpins getting into the main. And can we base trade with this? We only have, what, 2 full medevacs? Barely an army. Yeah, there's just not much here. There's not much here. Gets an Nexus. Zealous still popping off. Your shout to the Cloak Ghost. No detection. The one ghost, Pappy. He's popping off. He's doing, oh no, the other ghost. As Percival sims in, takes out another expansion. There's the Mass Cloak. Percival, he's holding. He's holding back at home. Cleans up the Zealots. So was that recall? Did recall bottom right. We're getting messy. Getting very messy here. As Medivacs are being targeted down. And where exactly are we? Okay, so Classic, he's knocked down to what we have 3, 4, 5 bases. 5 bases up and running on 66 workers. That is what 3 base saturation. Not much of an economy here for Classic. At the same time though, Percival also lost so many SCVs down to 42 workers. Mules are helping. Mules, they do help support. They do help supplement his losses. 5th CC's on the way. Economically quite neck and neck. Armies are split. MP lands. We have more ghosts coming in. Classic gets respected. He does pull away at the same time. Zelarambe here across the map gets into the mineral line, getting more CV kills. And Percival turns around. Does turn around. This does give Classic more time. Now pushing across. Keeping Percival busy. Percival just wants to push. That base. Nice EP. Very nice. EP goes off. Vikings as well. Gets 1, gets 2 Colossus. But the Zealots, though. The charge also getting some of the Ghosts. Yeah, Ghosts are going down. Do we have detection, though? No Observer. No Observer, no detection. Every Colossus is being chased down. 1 Colossus left. No more splash damage. And Percival, he's done it. He has broken Classic. Takes down a little splash damage. Barely anything left. Economy goes down as well. Takes down the mineral line. And we're making a series out of this pack. True. Almost there. Oh, Aziz also getting out of hands. 15 SCV kills, by the way. Ay, ay, ay. 15 SCVs go down to 31. But it may not matter. It may not matter. Percival pushing in. I see him killing the Zealots. And just out trading Classic. Knocking down another expansion. This time they're going for a Depteras, okay. I mean, hey, we'll stay out of range of the planetary. But Percival is going for the kill, going for the throw. Depowers the Robos. No more Colossus. And ICMPs. GG gets called. GG gets called. Percival snowballs out of control. And we have a back and forth. We have a series. Percival, he will force game number 4. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A very chaotic game here, very chaotic, very back and forth. Winding it back, Percival, he had the better start. Remember, he was able to maintain map control, take better fights, take better trades, able to take a lead economically, able to just engage with the army and have some better fights overall over Classic. Eventually, though, Classic recovered. It was impressive. Classic was able to catch out some of the medevacs, catch out some of the army, build up his own 4 and 5 bases, and have that kind of back and forth. It was very close, very intense. We saw that Percival, he was able to almost perfect his army, but build up into that more liberated heavy composition, end up with a much more efficient composition instead, and we ended up in a weird base trade. A weird base trade where Classic recognized he could not fight the army head on, bypassed the army, got across the map, and so did Percival, and things got chaotic. Things got crazy, baby. GG. GG, well played. Things got very chaotic. In the end, we do have Percival fighting back, and we're going all to the game number 4. Loading into 10,000 feet. Let's go. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Virtus Pro. Still leading the series, so one game from claiming the series. We'll see if we can close it out here and now. It is Classic. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran fighting back, putting a point on the board. Can he force the ace match? It is Percival. Let's go. Let's go. Catching up. At this point, it will be worth not mining early expansions and mining bases closer to Percival first. Yeah, that's very common when it comes to late game setups. Often you want to be mining bases that are closer to your opponent because there's a very high chance that they're going to be knocked down and taken over by your opponent eventually over time. That's very common. We often do see players like Classic incorporate that. Is seen. Did Classic throw this? I would say this was a back and forth, and if you want to say that, you can say that did Percival throw that? Remember that Percival, he did have a lead early on. I say early on, for the first half of the game, for the first half of that previous game. Percival, he was in control of that game. He had momentum. He was popping off. Then he lost that lead, and then we had that back and forth. It was very chaotic. We got messy, papi. We got messy. But here we go. There we go. From here, we're calming down. We're loading into 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is a much smaller map. Smaller map in the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground. On a map like this, aggression is going to be more favored here. It takes very little time to get across the map. So one wrong fight, one wrong move, and you can see your opponents in your bases in your face immediately. So it's a very unforgiving map, I should say. Very unforgiving. The advantage, though, when it comes to 10,000 feet is the distance between bases. The natural, the third, and the fourth. I mean, you can see them here. They're all on the same screen. They're all here, all on the same screen. So expanding and maintaining your 4 bases is relatively easy, as your rotations are quite minimal between your 4 base setup. So on the one hand, yes, the map is small, and yes, you can punish after a lost fight quite quickly on this map. That is true. On the other side, though, turtling up on 4 bases and building up into the late game is a lot more common on this map as well. A lot more common. So we have that kind of back and forth. The idea of Percival turtling up and building up to 4 bases and perfecting his army into liberators, there's a higher chance of him achieving that here on 10,000 feet. But we'll see how aggressive our players plan on being. That's good. We'll get there. For now, we do have our 1-1-1 setup back at home. Racks expand into factory starport. Classy does poke in. Do have the safety bunker. And behind this, we do see Percival setting up for a drop. This time, no Widowmine drop. This time, he is making additional Hellions. Okay, interesting here. Going for a bit of an unorthodox build, going for a bit of a delayed Hellion drop. I say delayed, bearing in mind that earlier this series, we did see the attempted proxy starport into Hellion drop into the main. Here, it's back at home instead. Still going for the drop, but in a different way. So the way this works here is that 3 Hellions one-shot probes. 3 Hellions, that's enough to one-shot. And if workers line up, then these Hellions, they can pop up. They can do critical damage. Oh no. Classic is in position. He scouts. Oh no. He does spot the drop. Is aware. Does spot the medevac. And Classic getting ready back at home. Classic himself did go 2-gate blink. Okay, greedy build. Greedy build, 2-gate blink into a robo into a third base. Third gateway is just now finishing up. Medevac is intercepted. Ooh, taking a lot of hits. Taking a lot. Oh no! The medevac! Oh my god. Full medevac goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Rough start. Rough start for Percival. The Hellion drop does nothing. Yeah, 0 damage is dealt. Hellion goes down. Not a single probe kill. And Percival, he does lose any kind of momentum here. He's forced back home. So shaky start for Percival. 0 damage dealt. Ay, ay, ay. Again, so unfortunate here that he got scattered ahead of time. I mean, Percival took a risk. If you saw, originally he was going to be skirting around the left-hand side. He chose to deviate and go to the right-hand side instead. To go to the right-hand side of the map. Got spotted by the Adept. Classic, he has blink. He can blink into the main. I'm sure he's tempted. There is that one Raven. Stalkers, they flirt with the idea, but in the end, Classic does back up. Behind this, going for a gateway explosion, we have charge, +1, and the Bay on the way, getting ready for Colossus. So Classic is taking up. Again, Classic just enjoying his map control. There are some Marines out on the map. They can maybe just walk into the mineral line. Potentially, but now just holding on. Holding on to the Marines. Classic delays the 3rd CC. Marines do walk in. Stim is not yet done, but does make his way into the middle line. There's a recall. Yeah, quick reactions out of Classic. Recalls back home. Oh, Colossus pops out, and the Marines are going to be completely cleaned up here. Oh, once again, this wasn't quite worth it here for Percival. Percival bleeding out 3 Hellions, the medevac, 8 Marines for only 3 probes, and those are 3 probe kills to the auto turret. To the Raven. Oh, speaking of the Raven, goes down as well. Oh god. It's been shaky here. It's been very shaky here for Percival. He's building up back at home, getting into his 3rd. Due to all the aggression being shut down here when it comes to the Marines, the Hellions, and now the Raven as well, Classic can freely expand. He can freely just maintain his bases, get his 4th up and running, saturate his bases as well, and build up that greater economy. And now at this point we have to make a choice here. Percival, does he claim his 3rd, build up and go for a big 3-base push, or does he take a slower approach? Right? Does he turtle up instead and look to claim a 4th base and try to build up into Liberators? What's the plan? How do we approach this? So we have the Ghost Academy on the way. Again, working towards Ghosts. Then into Vikings. Percival's getting there. Meanwhile, Classic just shocking around, maintaining map control, claiming his 4th, now claiming a 5th base. Just mass expanding. Extending his lead. Just flexing the fact that Classic has nothing to worry about. He shut down all the aggression. He's safe. Classic is safe. Into the natural. Doesn't get much done. Percival does react in time. Does force a recall. Prism does not make it back home. A nice catch. Finally, something going Percival's way. Catching at the Prism. Recall now on cooldown. Second Robo's on the way for Classic, going to double Colossal production, and Classic turns back around. He does race back home. Doesn't want to risk getting caught out. And again, from here, we're still just macroing up. Getting a 4th CC. I think he just retired for fun. Yeah. We spoke about it previously, but when he came back from retirement initially, he did not intend to take it seriously. Obviously, that changed, but initially, Percival, when he came back last year, it was just to play for fun, just to stream, just to get back into StarCraft, and then he just locked in. Speaking of the first tank gets caught. Yeah, tank gets caught out. Percival delaying the 4th base. Going for Classic, going for a massive warp in. I meant to say Classic. You know, with 4 Colossus. And it's going to be a tough hold. Yeah, it's going to be a very tough hold here. Blinks in, does focus on the Vikings. There's 4 Vikings left. Sorry, 4 Vikings left. Should say 5. 5 Vikings remaining. Liberators are on the way. Classic once again moving in. Getting over the Ghost. Nice EMP. EMP goes off. Classic running out of Zealots. There's not that much bio. And even though Classic isn't pushing into the bases and pushing into the army, he's denying the expansion. Denying the 4th base. Keeping Percival contained. Taking away the Widow Mines. Taking away the mines. Getting 4 more CV kills. And this is all that Classic needs to do. He does not have to push in, just maintain this position. Deny the 4th. Deny the 4th base, pick up some free SCVs. Contain Percival. We have 7 more gates on the way, Jesus. That's a lot of gateways. Getting up to 20. Oh, the Ghost! The Ghost is harder down. That's what 4 Ghosts falling. Finally, 1 Colossus gets picked off. Miscontrol out of Classic. Did lift the wrong Colossus. A bit of miscontrol, but the Warpins, they continue. Down to 4 Vikings, down to 3. 3 Vikings left. The Hobby got micro. And Percival is being bullied. Does rally in with more Vikings. Just barely. The juggling, they just won't die. The Colossus. They're crazy micro there by Classic. Finally, 1 Colossus goes down. The rest are so low. As Percival, he just can't expand. He wants to. Cannot expand. As he bleeds out more Vikings. Down to 1 Viking left. Soon to be down to 0. Yeah, blinks on in. Takes down the final Vikings. And with that, Classic has done a GG. Classic, he will claim the series 3-1. Qualifying for this season of RSL. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to the Classic. He will claim the series. We did have a bit of a back and forth here, of course. Coming back into 10,000 feet at Classic, he was able to have such a strong early game, of course. Winding it back, remember, he caught out the Hellion drop. He caught out the Raven. He caught out the Marine run by as well. All the early game aggression just fell on its face. And as a result of that, Percival, he had to relinquish map control. He relinquished map control. He was stuck back at home on 3 bases, and so as a result, Classic could afford to get a 4th and a 5th base up and running, uncontested, just freely build up his economy and max out from there. Percival, he was trying to turtle up back at home, and we did emphasize that, hey, on this map, the bases are close together. It's a little bit easier to get your 4th up and running. But remember, Percival, he had the economic deficit. He lost map control early on. Classic had a big lead coming into the mid game where he could apply pressure and contain his opponents on 3 bases. Percival couldn't expand, couldn't get a 4th base, couldn't quite build up. GG. GG, well played. And again, really patient play at a Classic as well. We emphasize that Classic had to be very safe there. He didn't have to push in, didn't have to push into the 3rd, just wait at the 4th base, out-trade his opponent, build up his army, and eventually just whittle away at Percival. GG. So GG, well played with that. Congratulations. With that, we have our final qualified players for the Revival StarCraft League Season 5 main event. Let's go. From the top, Classic. Classic took down Perceive. 2-0 took down Percival. 3-1. Classic qualifies for the RSL. Meanwhile, scoring down a little bit further here, we had Solar. Solar took down Rex. Solar took down Shin. Solar also qualifies for this season of the Revival StarCraft League. So congratulations to Classic and Solar for making it through. Bearing in mind they're going to be joining Nightmare and Shameless, who also made it through the Americas qualifier. And there is one qualifier left, the European qualifier. The European server qualifier is remaining. That is going to be in a couple days time. Here. And this also means that if you're a fan of Shin, if you're a fan of Percival, if you're a fan of some of these other players, then do not worry, because they will have a chance to redeem themselves in the European qualifier. Obviously they have the disadvantage of playing on the European server, so there is that disadvantage, but we have seen Koreans pop off on the Korean server, on the European server regardless as well. Regardless of ping, we'll see if they can. We'll see if they can. So best of luck to the remaining players. Also, do not fret. If you're a fan of these players and if they don't make it through the European qualifier either, remember there is still a fan vote. You have to be a part of the Patreon, of course, but the patrons of RSL, they will have a voting phase after the qualifiers where they can vote on their favorite player to be a part of RSL. Obviously, it's limited. It's limited to players that are, keen and interested in competing in the event, of course. But there is going to be that voting phase available. So it will be available. That'll be after the qualifiers conclude, of course. Otherwise, GG. Otherwise, GG, well played. With that, I am giga fatigued. I do apologize. I did get my second wind during the Classic Percival series, but I don't know if you noticed, but I was very low energy for like game 4 and game 5 of Solar versus Shin. I was very low energy. I was like nodding off. I was like, giga tired, papi. Barely got any sleep. Of course, we were live earlier this morning casting Pegasus Cup, and then now this evening casting RSL. So back-to-back broadcasts here. No time to sleep, no time to breathe. So just a little bit fatigued, and I do apologize for being low energy for that previous ZVZ. Otherwise, if you want to check out the rest of our schedule, bam, you can see it here before you. So when it comes to our schedule, we just wrapped up with the Wednesday evening broadcast of RSL, and as a reminder, we are going to be live tomorrow morning with the GSL Code A qualifiers, or the GSL qualifiers, just period. For those that maybe aren't aware, we were live last night with the GSL qualifiers. We were the only English stream, by the way, the only English stream. We covered the GSL qualifiers, but we were not live here on Twitch. We were live over on Soup. We're live on Soup. Soup, for those who are unaware, is the rebranding of Afrika. Afrika TV, they are like the Korean equivalent of Twitch, essentially. They're one of the many Korean streaming platforms, and they have of course exclusivity when it comes to the GSL broadcast. So we did not have permission to stream on Twitch. No permission to stream on Twitch or YouTube, so we could only stream on Soup. But the rebroadcast and the VODs, those are going to be available on YouTube and Twitch tomorrow. Tomorrow they're going to be available. So again, if you can't wait, if you want to watch the VOD, you can do so via Soup. Otherwise, we'll have those VODs available. Just catching up. Catching up in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me play with the kitty for subscribing for 24 months. 2 years of support, Pappy. Ay, ay, ay. 2 years, Pappy. Crazy, crazy. Thank you so much, Pappy. Thank you so much. Clearly, it's pay to vote. It is. Unironically. You got to pay to vote. True. So check out the Patreon, exclamation mark RSL. I believe we do have the command in the chat, exclamation mark RSL, to get a link to the RSL Patreon. So if you want to take part in the voting phase for the maps and for the players as well, you can do so via the Patreon. True. Just catching up. Go. Passing away. Well, yeah, playing solid. Solid. But otherwise, we are going to be wrapping up. And again, we're going to have a rebroadcast of the GSL qualifiers. That's going to be in around 12 hours time. Otherwise, we have the podcast tomorrow evening. The podcast is our weekly podcast, our weekly talk show of all things StarCraft. We have the TLMC finalist broadcast on Friday. We have StarCraft Evolution League. We have Universe Titan Cup show match and the Tuna Cup as well. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. We have at least one broadcast every single day, often multiple broadcasts a day as well. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more than than wordy, more than steadfast. We have the quantity and we have a little bit of the quality as well. True, true. Otherwise, gonna go get some food, gonna go get some rest. It's been a long day, papi. It's been a long day. Aye, aye, aye. But thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon as well. ! Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. Otherwise, YouTube. Check us out on YouTube, but we do upload on YouTube on a daily basis as well. So if you see something that you like here, if you see like GSL CK or the GSL qualifiers or the RSL qualifiers or Home Straight Cup, Rongi Cup, Thunderfire Cup, Tuna Cup, Wardy TV Mondays, Pegasus Cups, StarCraft Evolution League, Euthermal Studio Circuits, all the tournaments we cast, they're available over on YouTube. The VODs are there. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys next time. Stick around to give one of the other StarCraft streamers a raid. Give him some support. Give him some love. I do see that Sort of is streaming. Sort of. He actually played in this qualifier. He played in the qualifier. So may as well give old mate Sort of some love. Likewise, I see Deadly Kitten as well. Swedish player living in Japan. Who else? We have Nodicon. Oh, we have a couple of Japanese players actually. Okay. Let's go. Couple of Japanese players, but we're gonna be wrapping up. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao. Ay. Get some rest, papi. Get some rest. See you next time. Hasta luego.